Well, good evening and welcome to Sports on Sunset. It's March 17th. We're in Marty's. It's kind of a weird little comedy playhouse, if you will, where basically a bunch of us get together and a bunch of them get high. We don't. We're lying sometimes, but we don't. This is actually the back room. I'm James Jericho. This is my good friend Jeremy Paul.
I'm Jeremy Paul.
We chose this room because this way we can actually say what we want to say without much interruption, and you might be able to see it. The windows over in the side have bars on them, and we're kind of used to being in places with barred windows, so it feels like home.
Prison.
Yeah. Well, but that's another topic for another time. The reason that we're here today, because it's St. Patrick's Day, you've probably already seen the first 3 days of the NCAA Tournament. I haven't seen a damn second, and that's going to be the point of the debate today. I honestly think, look, if you enjoy watching college basketball, that's fine. But the tournament as a whole, and obsessing over it, has just reached, to me, an absolutely absurd level. I think you're insane if you consider yourself a so-called bracketologist. Jeremy, why don't you start by stating the case of why you're a big proponent of college basketball tournament?
I like the NCAA tournament mainly because so many people put so much faith into the seedings that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I got into liking the college basketball tournament, the NCAA tournament, back in high school when I think it was my sophomore year in high school. Somebody handed me a bracket and said, hey, pick the winners. Now, I saw the records. I didn't know anything about any of these college basketball teams, but the team that I picked to win it all went undefeated during the regular season. That team was the College of Charleston. They were 31-0 that year. So I was like, well, yeah, they're obviously the best team in the country. Why are they seeded so low? And people were like, they're not going to win a single game. They won their next 3 games, but then lost in the Sweet 16. But that was my first taste of the tournament. I was like, see, I knew what I was talking about. And of course, I think that was the year that Michigan fucked themselves.
Okay, here's my counterpoint. If you have a bracket and you're filling it out just because it seems kind of amusing, that's fine. But if you spend more than 10 minutes picking winners, you're not one of them. You're not one of life's winners, okay? Let's get that part out. I mean, I'm guessing the one thing I will give you credit for is you're saying that you see the absurdity in this.
Oh, most certainly.
Yeah, because here's the thing. If you're taking this seriously, if you're the guy in your office, the college basketball tournament to me is like the Mason-Dixon line. This is where you find out if you're an actual sports fan or a complete freaking loser, all right? This is how bad it's gotten. Like ESPN this year, if you've noticed during championship week, they hired a guy, a senior bracketologist, and his job was to choose the last 4 teams in and the first 4 teams out. He was forecasting it every freaking hour. Dude, really? How does that pitch meeting go? Mr. Eisner, Mr. Mouse, yeah, may I call you Mickey? Great tie. Check it out. I've got this great thing. Nobody cares who's the best team. Everybody wants to know teams 65 through 75, and I'm your guy. I get to choose. I know who's going to be the team from Eastern Illiterate U who is going to advance and get bikini waxed by Kentucky on day 1 of the tournament. And oh, by the way, that guy was wrong. He had Texas as one of the teams missing, and they got an 11 seed. He was off by at least 40 slots. So you have no idea. By the way, how much of a fan of college basketball are you?
I'm actually a decent fan because whenever my alma mater is in the tournament.
And your school? Go ahead.
My school's the Southern Illinois University Salukis, baby. Carbondale. Gotta love them Salukis.
I don't have a problem with you rooting for your school. But the problem that I have with college basketball overall is that there's no fan loyalty. Other than the school you go to, you're loyal to that. There's so many people in college basketball. The moment it was like, oh, I've been a Duke fan since I was born. What? They lost? Go Hoyas. I mean...
Hey, Georgetown has a white center. It's a white dude playing center, man.
Well, I'm pretty sure the people who...
John Thompson, the first is rolling over in his grave right now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't...
Dikembe Mutombo rolling over in his grave.
Allen Iverson would not feed that guy the rock.
Patrick Ewing is rolling over in his grave because of a white center at Georgetown. Georgetown got their asses kicked by a bunch of Chinese dudes last year.
I'm not saying that the college tournament is totally horrible, okay? If you're one of those fortunate few who have a job left in this economy and your office TV just happens to be on the tournament all day and you feel like slacking off, I got no problem with that. But if you're sitting there and you can actually debate who is the backup point guard for Eastern, who gives a shit to Stan University, you need to go out to the real world. There are these wonderful things in the world called women, and they have boobs, and those things are so much better than any basketball team you could find out there. There's just no doubt in my brain about it.
The Rutgers women's team. They have boobs when they play basketball.
Are they going to be on ESPN's bracketologist as number 65 to get their bikini wax from Kentucky?
Probably.
Yeah, well, that'll be a treat. That'll TiVo. There's like one other issue I have with college basketball, and there's certain basketball fans who are like, well, I always like the best of the best. I like the NBA over college. And the people who debate that say college is better than the NBA, they're always like, well, in college, they play defense. Look, there's a reason nobody plays defense in the NBA. And if you want that reason, I suggest you go back to YouTube and Google Blake Griffin dunking on Timothy Mozgov of the New York Knicks, okay? That's why nobody takes a charge in the NBA. That guy tried, and he had little Blakey stuff up and down his face. I love how there's these white guys in the bars who are like, oh, sign me to a contract in the NBA. I'll take a charge. You will think totally differently when Blake Griffin drags his crank up and down your face. That's my point, and I think what we got to do now is switch gears. Bottom line is, if you like college basketball, that's great, but this is where you can take your sports way too freaking seriously. Jeremy, why don't you tell them what's on your mind, man?
What's on my mind is probably the biggest story in football right now. Where's Peyton Manning going? Myself, I hope beyond hope. I'm a Bears fan. I hate the quarterback. Shut the fuck up. I hate the quarterback that we currently have. I've never been a fan of Jay Cutler. Peyton Manning does not need to be on the Bears team. Peyton Manning needs to play for the Broncos. He really needs to play for the Broncos. Why does he need to play for the Broncos? Because let's see how good Tim Tebow is. Can he beat out Peyton Manning for the job? Come on. It's a 15-year veteran. He just had neck surgery. He hasn't played all year. He hasn't played an entire year. How good are you, Tim Tebow? Can you beat Peyton Manning out for the job? You beat Brady Quinn, right? You beat Brady Quinn. You beat out Kyle Orton, even though he didn't get a chance and didn't have wide receivers to throw the fucking ball to. But you beat him out. Come on, Tim Tebow. Let's see how good Jesus is. Can Jesus lead you past Peyton Manning? Look, I don't think he can. Go Peyton Manning. Sign with the Broncos. Go John Elway. Go Broncos.
And as somebody who actually has attended church and not been revulsed at being there. Hey, I go from Bible study to an open mic and listen to 80 dick jokes, so you can't face me that easily. With God, all things are possible. Now,
not being Peyton Manning out. I'll kill how hard he prays.
I know, exactly. Yeah, like Peyton Manning has never cracked open a Bible. Friends, this is why we normally want to record on Sunday, but we're recording it today for a reason. Tomorrow is the Los Angeles Marathon. And I want to avoid that at all costs. And here's the reason why. My friends will tell you I'm a bit of a gym rat. One day a week I'll go and run on the treadmill for as far as I can. And one day I was bored, and I actually cranked out 12 miles running in 100 minutes. And that impresses some people. But then comes the part where I think every distance runner tomorrow will be asking themselves, what the fuck am I trying to prove here? I mean, what the hell? I'm running down this street. I've been running a Dewey on this circular track at dawn every day for 6 freaking months. Who am I going to impress? The Kenyan is still leading me by 8 miles. I thought I was so much better than that guy. Wow. What? Do you think you're actually going to be better than the Ethiopians? Newsflash, you already are better than the Ethiopians. You live in America. You can eat whenever you want. Okay? You don't have to sit there and try and be better than them at running 26 miles. The ancient Greeks ran 26.2 miles and they're still dead. Nobody cares how many miles you can run, brother. Go have a Tommy Burger. Get off of Sunset Boulevard so I can get to the Comedy Store just that much quicker. And oh, another little side topic on it, just to wrap it up in a nice little bow. Okay? Yeah, I get it. You want to be healthy. You want to impress the chicks. And yes, they do. There are people who give you things on the side of the road when you're running. They give you drinks. They give you little snacky bars. I even think they give you gummy bears. You know what they don't give you? Phone numbers, girls' panties, water bras. None of that stuff happens at the LA Marathon. You know, but they have I've looked it up online. They actually have a cheerleading section where they grab a whole bunch of the local cheerleaders to go rah 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 halfway through. You mean to tell me you put in all that effort for 14-year-old and 15-year-olds? I don't think you did, dude. You're better off hitting the weight pile and knocking some steroids down after your Tommy Burger.
Go Roids.
Go Roids. Final note before we go out, we always encourage the feedback. We look forward to hearing from you. A quick shout out to a friend of mine named Phil. We were debating quarterbacks last week. We neglected to mention in our list of better quarterbacks, Johnny Unitas. Nice call. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. This is Sports on Sunset. I'm James.